So, okay, good morning. Okay, so we'll discuss on chapter number 6, Introduction to Electro-Pneumatics. Okay, so I have given you the Ed puzzle assignment. So, chapter 6 will be the only chapter that will cover electro-pneumatic. So, electro-pneumatic is actually a part of pneumatic. Okay, you also can have electro-hydraulic application, even though it's not covered by the syllabus, because the circuit will be the same. So it will consist of two parts. The first part will be the electrical part. So you settle that, then you connect it to the pneumatic part. Okay, so similarly electro-hydraulic. Okay, so I already finished set the exam question for final. So the question in final will be electro-hydraulic. So even though it's not covered, so I tell you from beginning. So I will tell this in exam clinic also. Okay, so later part I will tell in exam clinic about this, so that you can focus. So it will be electrohydraulics. So electrohydraulics you haven't start. Maybe you already done your lab. No, hydraulics not yet. Okay. So maybe Saifuddin will cover lah. Okay, but today we will start with hydraulics. So hydraulics and pneumatics just a bit different. So the circuit will look the same, just some of the symbols will not be the same, because you use this particular symbol, so you know that is hydraulic. So I think you are very familiar with pneumatic. So we will see the comparison after this. So today the first part we will cover on the discussion on electro-pneumatic. So last week during the lecture we already learned some important parts about electro-pneumatics, and I also gave the assignment. So today we will just glance through the remaining chapters before we go for the discussion questions. Okay, so last week we have seen all these proximity sensors, types of sensors. Okay, so we stop until reed switch. Okay, reed switch is a magnetic switch that will be used in electro-pneumatic. Okay, relays, processing element. So we enter to the processing element. So most of the main processing element in electro-pneumatic is a relay. Okay, so relay is an electrically actuated switch containing a coil and a contactor switch or multiple contactors of changeover contact type. Okay, so relay is actually similar like switch. So switch, normally the switch that we can see here, so this is a manual switch, because you need to go and manually on or off. But in relay, so inside you will have a coil. When the coil is energized, so it will either on or off the switch. So that is what we call as relay. So before all these electronics and electrical advancement, maybe in 1970s or 1950s, so we don't have much on the electronic side. So even that time, so we were using mainly relays to control. So that's why those time you see the TV, it will be very huge, because you will have a lot of relays inside. Okay, so that is on the relay. So when power is applied to the relay coil, the coil magnetized and it will draw the contact assembly, because all the contact pins inside the relay will be metal. So metal or iron, so it will magnet can attract or retract it. Okay, so relay uses one of the advantage. So why we are using relay? Because it only need a small amount of power. So you bagi sedikit electrical power, you boleh control dah. So it doesn't need a lot of power. Macam kita tengok dekat switch yang ada, so it's 240 volt. But relay you can operate with 6 volt or 12 volt. Tak perlu gunakan so even gunakan 6 volt you boleh kawal 240 volt. So bila you nak berconnection. Okay, so relay is used to allow low voltage control system to switch large current or high voltage. Ini adalah salah satu advantage. So this is actually a relay. Okay, dalam relay we boleh tengok ada coil. So you have a coil. So you have a spring here. Kemudian this is the contact point and this is the contact point. So contact connection. So you buat connection dekat sini. So when you are giving 240 volt ataupun whatever power that you are giving, yang ni dia akan tarik. So based on this movement, kalau coil ni dia energize, dia akan jadi macam magnet, dia akan tarik yang ni. So dia akan bergerak ke kanan. So dia akan langgar dekat sini. So from this side, dia akan move ke this side. So dia akan move lah based on the magnet. Okay, yang ni rasanya biasa tengok lah. So dalam PLC biasa tengok tak yang ni board ni? Tak ada. Rasanya dalam PLC ada kot. So yang ni actually di dalam ni ada 4 types of connection. So you boleh pilih lah for you to use. Okay, so this is the symbol of the coil and this is the contactor. Yang ni biasa kita akan gunakan dalam electro pneumatic. Okay, so we have normally close and also normally open. Okay, close maksudnya ada contact, open maksudnya no contact. So you just need to connect it to the respective pin in order to use it. Okay, so animations of relay, so boleh tengok lah macam mana dia bergerak. So this means the relay is off because this is at this side. Kemudian you supply, you energize the magnetic coil, dia akan bergerak macam ni because of the magnet. So it will draw this nearer. So yang ni dari port 1 dia akan bergerak ke port 2. Okay, so that is on some of relay. Okay, relay has few function. So as safety device, high voltage output 240 volt can be switched on through a contactor using relay with low voltage. So meaning, so dalam relay, so you can use 24 volt which is much lower to control 240 volt. So you boleh buat so it can because it can control high voltage, so dia boleh gunakan sebagai safety device. So if anything happen, your coil blow, so you takkan ada any fire incident or what lah. So it can be a safety device. Okay, so it's used a lot in the automation process, switching more than one output simultaneously using relay with a coil and multiple contactors. So another flexibility, so you can by switching on one relay contact, so dia boleh control a lot of component. So at one time, macam if you still know about cascading, so dalam cascading pun you ada group changing valve. So apa-apa yang connect dekat group changing valve punya connection, so you always have 2 connection or 3 connection kan. So group 1, group 2, group 3, so ada 3 line ataupun 2 line. So whatever is connected to the respective line, dia akan dapat power because of the group changing valve. So similar lah. So relay also using the similar concept. So where when you give you activate one coil, so dia akan energize apa-apa komponen yang connected to it. Okay, so another important part of electro-pneumatic is solenoid. So the solenoid directional control valve. So dalam electro-pneumatic, so you are not using the normal pneumatic punya direction control valve. Dia akan control by solenoid. So boleh tengok dekat sini lah working principle saya tunjuk. So this is the symbol. So symbol dia ada macam ni. So if you see there's a line, a diagonal line, so you tahu yang itu adalah solenoid. Okay. So dia ada. So this is your normally dia direction control valve akan ada dua part. So solenoid adalah something yang macam ni. So it has a diagonal line. So kalau you nampak diagonal line ni, so you tahu yang itu adalah solenoid. Kalau ada dua part, so dia akan ada dua solenoid lah. Atau dia akan ada macam ni. So always remember when you see this diagonal line, you tahu yang itu adalah solenoid. Okay, solenoid you have two types. The first one is directly operated and also pilot operated. So ingat lagi apa itu direct operated? Ni soalan famous ni yang biasa keluar. So direct operated. So maksudnya in between you don't have any component to control. So you bagi input, dia terus sambung dekat valve. Kemudian dia akan actuate. So it can be, the solenoid can be directly operated ataupun pilot operated. Maksudnya you bagi input, dia akan masuk ke satu komponen dulu. So komponen tu akan decide to send signal bila dia nak send signal. So that is pilot operated. Pilot operated maksudnya there's something that controls in between. Macam pilot lah. Pilot pun dia ada control system dia kan, untuk control the aeroplane. Okay, so ini adalah simbol dia. Okay, so boleh tengok simbol. So ada soalan untuk namakan valve untuk dalam final exam. So I'll give maybe a term, ask you to draw the symbol. So ada soalan lah, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 markah. 6 markah. So ada 5 ada 5 soalan tapi 6 markah. So 1, 1, 1, 1 and 2. So pastikan you tahu macam mana nak draw symbol. So pneumatic symbols. So if you boleh tengok dalam lecture note lah, ada banyak. So how to draw the direction control valve punya symbol. So how to draw the so selalunya ada macam ni lah. So dia ada the mechanical, so the mechanical construction and also the symbol dekat tepi ni. Kemudian I think you pun dah biasa gunakan dalam fluid sim. So make sure you understand all the symbol. So jangan just drag and drop je, kemudian you tak ingat. So make sure you ingat. So what is a non-return valve, what is flow control valve, so time delay valve dia macam mana. So make sure you know lah. So how you can draw. Okay, so for this, so this will be you tengok ada this yang diagonal punya line. So we know that is a solenoid. So memang dalam exam saya tak bagi simbol. Saya bagi perkataan macam ni, suruh you lukis. So from this you know, so 302 direction control valve, so maksudnya ada di 3 port. So 2 maksudnya ada 2 kotak. So this is a direction control valve, single solenoid. Maksudnya only one side ada solenoid. So yang ni adalah double solenoid. So double solenoid, dua-dua belah ada solenoid. So you can, this diagonal line you boleh draw both side the same line, ataupun you boleh lukis like this. So both are accepted. Then ini adalah manual override. yang ada dekat atas ni. So manual override maksudnya switch that is connected to the direction control valve and with spring return. Ada spring dekat sini. Okay, so please go through all the symbols. So pastikan, so you ada, I think now is minggu ke 10, 9 ke 10? 10. So we have another 4 weeks. So 4 weeks, so puasa dah start. So then I think final week pun, so kita buat online. Sebab dah keluar araan, semua subjek online. So nak bagi flexibility for you all to go back to your hometown untuk sambut raya. So minus that 1 week, so kita cuma ada 3 week untuk cover everything. And you also have 3 weeks to study. Kalau you study lah. Tak study tu saya tak boleh buat apa lah. But I only can remind you. Okay. So in between I will give some hints lah. So most probably exam clinic pun kita akan buat online. So even though I prefer to do face to face, so tapi online tu that's the problem lah. So we cannot really like write down things lah. So but that's the best option we have. So we will try to utilize that. Okay, so ini adalah physical solenoid yang you boleh tengok dekat lab nanti. So dekat lab mechatronic system design, so normally you will sit at the front part. So waktu you masuk tu ada banyak board. So ada, I think on the waktu you masuk, on your right hand side ada hydraulic system. Kemudian pneumatic ada 2 sistem. Satu yang sistem lama, satu yang board baru. So you boleh tengok dalam tu memang ada lah benda ni. So this is solenoid. So one side, so this is double solenoid. Kemudian you boleh tengok ada connection dekat sini, ada exhaust semua lah. And it is controlled by electrical input. Sebab solenoid adalah berkaitan dengan electrical. So this is a simple circuit. This is a switch. Switch dalam electro-pneumatic. So electrical part, electro-pneumatic will have 2 part. So electrical part and also hydraulic or pneumatic part. So you kena lukis dulu. So how you want to draw is based on your creativity. So apa yang you nak control. Okay, so this is the electrical part. So dia akan start dari 24 volt, air dekat kosong. So in between akan ada switch. This switch will start the circuit. So switch ni akan hantar input dekat sini. So this is your solenoid 1. So apa-apa yang connected dengan solenoid 1 will be activated. So this solenoid energize, dia akan energize dekat pneumatic circuit. So pneumatic circuit akan start. So apa-apa yang connect dengan S1 dekat pneumatic circuit, it will run simultaneously. So that's the advantage. Instead of control only one, so selalunya kita tengok kan classical. So dia on satu belah, so kemudian dia akan extend, kena dekat roller valve, dia akan activate another circuit. One advantage of pneumatic, kenapa industri suka electro-pneumatic, sebab dia boleh run simultaneously. So solenoid, apa-apa yang connected dengan solenoid 1 semua akan energize. So dia macam tu lah. Okay, then this side you have switch 1. So boleh tengok, yang ni terbuka, yang ni tertutup. So SW3 ni adalah emergency switch to disconnect the circuit if anything happen. So kalau you tekan yang ni, so yang ni dah connected, so S2, solenoid 2 will be energized. So ini adalah switch 4 to control the solenoid 3 and LS1. So LS1 adalah yang ni lah. So dia extend, dia kena dekat limit switch ni. So this one will be connected, terus dia akan on solenoid 4. Macam tu lah. So it has a connection. Electro-pneumatic lab dah buat. Ada yang dah buat lab kelas ke ataupun lab terus? So lab terus kan. So maybe you already can see lah macam mana buat connection tu. So ini adalah simple circuit connection dalam electro-pneumatics. So red cable selalunya kita akan connect to power 24 volt, and blue selalunya akan connect to 0 volt. So then it will be connected to your pneumatic part lah. Okay, pneumatic valve. Okay, so there are two standards yang ada dalam electro-pneumatic. So one is IEC. IEC adalah International Electrotechnical Commission. Okay, IEC. So IEC standard, so boleh tengok dia punya line. So the line will be vertical. So boleh tengok line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. Kemudian kita ada Japanese International Standard ataupun International Commission. Dia akan mendata. So the circuit, so line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, dia akan mendata. Okay, for your opinion, this is IEC ataupun JIC? IEC, sebab dia vertical. So ini adalah line 1, so line 2, line 3, line 4. So kalau JIC, yang ni dia terbalik. So it will be rotated 90 degrees. Sebab tu you boleh tengok macam ni lah, 90 degrees. Betul lah, 90 degrees. 90 degrees inverted, terbalik. So similar, just it will be vertical lah, horizontal. Okay, so direct control. So direct control maksudnya you don't have any intermediate inside. So you tekan switch, dia terus akan energize the coil. Okay, so macam ni. So you tekan push button ni, so dia akan energize the coil. So this coil will energize here, then your cylinder akan extend. So that's the thing. So return, when you de-energize the coil, dia akan automatically return sebab dia ada spring. So try to imagine lah. So this thing. Okay, so all these are direct. So this is indirect. Okay, so indirect, boleh tengok. So you tekan push button, dia akan energize K1, coil 1. So coil 1 ada kat mana? Mana coil? Oh, dia tak label ya. Dia suppose dekat sini adalah K1. Dia kena ada K1, K2. Dekat sini dia tak letak nama. But indirect maksudnya you tekan push button, dia akan energize the coil. This coil akan on or off the switch. Kemudian the switch will be connected to the solenoid. Ini adalah simbol solenoid. Dia macam ada kipas dekat belakang. Dalam electrical part lah. Okay. So that is indirect. Indirect maksudnya in between will have one coil to control the solenoid. Macam ni. So ada gambar. So tekan push button ni, so it will on this K1. So this K1 adalah coil. So this coil will be connected here. Kalau yang ni on, yang ni pun akan on, and then it will be connected to solenoid Y1. So that is what we call as a indirect control. So indirect control ada few advantage. So it can like remote control. So switching more than one valve. So kat mana ada coil K1, so semua line tu akan activate. So it will on things at one time. Sebab tu dia boleh cakap switching more than one valve at one time. Simultaneous. So latching is possible, kemudian flexible design, but it will be a bit complicated and it need more wiring lah. So kalau it's complicated and it requires more wiring, so maksudnya cost pun akan bertambah. So industri tak suka perkataan cost. So disuruh kita jimat tapi solve the problem. Kan? Last salary kita pun tak ai. Kesian kan? Okay, so latching switch. So latching definition ada dekat sini. Is a process where relay contacts remain or on without keeping the relay coil energized. So latching maksudnya you tekan push button once, sampai you disconnect it, it will be continuously on. So you hanya perlu tekan one time. So itu yang dimaksud latching. So macam dekat sini you tengok ada switch electrical switch dekat sini. So you tekan, so yang ni connected, so coil ni akan on. So coil ni akan jadi parallel dekat sini. So coil on, so yang ni akan on. So it will be always dari so you hanya akan tekan yang ni once. After that line 2 akan activate sampai you tekan button ni untuk disconnect. Until then it will be like this. So itu yang kita panggil as latching. So dia akan continuously on. So certain application perlukan macam ni lah. You just tekan you jadi operator 24 hours pergi tekan button je kan. So you are not paid to tekan button. So you are paid to design the system which will simplify your work. So you tekan once sampai you disconnect, so it will be always on. So it is possible by latching the circuit. Okay, so latching the circuit pun ada two types. So dominant off and also dominant on. So dominant off adalah when start push button, so push button 1 and stop button is connected. Both are pressed simultaneously. So if the circuit goes off position atau relay coil is not energized, such circuit is called dominant off latching switch. Maksudnya you ada push button 1 and push button 2 dekat sini. So one is not connected, so one more is always connected. Kalau you tekan dua-dua simultaneously, so that means if the circuit is not energized, K1 is not energized, itu bermaksud dominant off. Okay. So ada okay, so you ada push button dekat sini. So one push button it will be not connected. Okay, so this is PB1. So one more will be connected. So will be connected. So sorry. Okay, so this one will be okay, so kalau tengok dekat sini, so ada push button 1, ada push button 2 and also coil. So in this case kalau you tekan push button 1, coil 1 akan energize ke tak? Kalau tekan push button 1 je, kan? Sebab yang ni disconnected. So kalau you tekan yang ni on, so akan ada 24 volt masuk ke coil. So coil akan energize. Okay, so normally the situation will be like this lah. Tapi apa yang kita cakap dominant off. So dominant off maksudnya we can see the first line. Start button, so push button 1 and stop button push button 2 are pressed simultaneously. Simultaneously maksudnya you tekan serentak. So kalau you tekan yang ni dengan tekan ni serentak, what will happen? Dia akan takkan ada connection sebab 24 volt akan masuk dekat sini sebab dia akan jadi on, tapi yang ni disconnected. So coil 1 not energized. So kalau you tekan dua-dua tu simultaneously and coil 1 is not energized, itu maksudnya dominant off. So itu yang maksud dia lah. Kemudian ada dominant on. So apa itu dominant on? So okay, so circuit dia pun a bit different lah. So when start button push button 1 and stop button push button 2 are pressed simultaneously, if the circuit goes on position, a relay coil is energized, then such a circuit is called dominant on. So latching circuit. So yang ni saya tak lukis lah. So kalau you tengok push button 2 ni is not in the primary line, dalam line 1. So you buat sedikit adjustment, so you letak dekat line 2 tapi dia connect parallel. So kalau dalam case ni, so push button 1 sama, K1 pun sama, tapi just push button tu you letak dekat tempat lain. If you tekan push button 1 and push button 2 simultaneously, what will happen? Untuk K1 akan ada power ke tak? Ada kan, sebab yang ni tak ada apa-apa dekat sini. So 24 volt akan masuk ke coil 1. So if you press push button 1 and push button 2 simultaneously and coil 1 still energized, so maksudnya itu adalah dominant on. So itu adalah maksud dia lah. Okay. Okay, so you boleh interpret these circuits. Okay, so ada push button 1, push button 2. So ini adalah dominant off. So K1 ini adalah latching. Sebab you just press once, push button 1. After that coil 1 will be energized. It will be always on. Kalau coil 1 on, dia akan connect dekat sini. So solenoid 1 pun on. So K2 it will generate K2. So K2 will be connected to here. Then it will on this solenoid. So kalau solenoid ni on, so it will energize this direction control valve and your cylinder will move forward. So dia akan ada connection lah, okay, antara electrical part and also pneumatic part. So it cannot be the either way around lah. So you tak boleh control the pneumatic, so control pneumatic from the electrical part. Okay, so you can use proximity switches, inductive. So boleh tengok how inductive circuit can be connected, and also so double acting cylinder using a pressure switch. So you ada pressure switch untuk control a double acting cylinder. So it will be connected to your circuit. Okay, all these are some of the examples of the circuit that can be connected. So if you see here, so you have LS1 and LS2. So that is your distance rule. So it is connected. It will give input for your electrical part as well. So you boleh, it depends on your creativity lah, how you want to design your circuit. Sebab benda yang ada tu memang available for all. So 24 volt memang diberi kepada semua. But how you design the circuit and how you want to utilize the symbols. So apa-apa yang kita belajar macam tadi, latching circuit, so dominant off, dominant on. So kalau you tengok dia punya design tu adalah berlainan. So the arrangement of the component. So when you arrange the component in such a way, then you can either save the space ataupun save the operation. You tak perlu gunakan a lot of things. Okay, so that is practically about the electro-pneumatic. So itu yang di cover dalam Ed puzzle. Okay, so you boleh refer balik dekat video. So nanti saya akan upload juga video dia dalam Google Classroom. Okay, so we move to the discussion. Okay, ada 6 soalan untuk discussion. Okay, so first question. Okay, for your opinion, can voltage lower than 24 volt can be used in relay? Can 12 volt be customized and used in electro-pneumatic? Selalunya kita tengok dalam electrical part ada 24 volt. Okay, so soalan dia tanya, boleh tak kalau kita nak gunakan 12 volt instead of 24 volt? Boleh? Boleh. So tengok jawapan. Boleh kan? Yes. Okay, so tak ada masalah. So jangan gunakan 5 volt. Jangan gunakan USB untuk control electro-pneumatic. Tak boleh lah yang tu. Tak cukup power. Okay, so minimum will be normally kita akan gunakan dalam electro-pneumatic 24 volt. Yang kita boleh jumpa dekat lab semua 24 volt. So you can see in the industry pun 24 volt. Tapi in case you want to use other types of connection, so maximum you boleh gunakan adalah 12 volt. But you need to check whether your system tu can operate with 12 volt lah. So that's why when you buy something, selalunya apa yang dia akan bagi? Kalau you beli seorang electrical equipment ataupun komponen, apa yang dia akan bagi? Kita tengok warranty kan. Tapi dia ada bagi satu lagi, together with that, user manual. User manual kan. Siapa rajin baca? Selalunya kita tak akan baca kan, kita akan simpan. Together dengan warranty card, kita simpan dekat safe place. So kalau you tengok dalam user manual, so inside that you will have all this specification. Berapa volt yang boleh digunakan. So even you want to order something, macam sekarang kita order dari Lazada kan. Dulu awal-awal waktu ada online shopping, kena scam kan. So dalam gambar tengok macam besar, tengok beli dia jadi sangat kecil. Tapi you tanya dekat seller, dia cakap kenapa you tak baca specification. Saya dah letak dekat specification. Similar lah. So when you want to buy something, so go and check the data sheet ataupun the specification yang diberi oleh manufacturer. So dalam tu dia akan bagi tahu, so whether this particular relay boleh gunakan 12 volt ke tak. Kalau dia cakap relay ni only can be used for 24 volt, so maksudnya you kena gunakan 24 volt lah. You cannot use 12 volt. Okay, so it still can be used. It's possible to use a voltage lower than 24 volt in a relay, and 12 volt relay can be customized and used in electro-pneumatic application. So perkataan dia, keyword dia adalah customize. So if you want to use a lower, so normally all the component will be suitable for 24 volt. Tapi kalau you nak gunakan 12 volt, you need to customize the circuit. So you need to do a bit of modification lah. Okay, then can be used. So no problem. Tapi jangan gunakan less than 12. So 5 volt, 6 volt, 9 volt semua jangan guna. So that is for the electronic side. The electrical side is not so okay lah. Okay, second question. When you can use IEC standard and when you can use DIC standard? Okay, ini soalan. Ini adalah IEC standard yang biasanya kita akan gunakan. So dalam exam gunakan IEC standard. Sebab dalam lab pun you belajar yang ni. Jangan nak tunjuk terror pergi lukis DIC standard. Memang saya boleh interpret, tapi tak ikut specification. So kita mau practice. So JIC is normally will be used in Japan lah. Sebab Japan ni dia selalunya mazhab dia lain lah kan, mazhab kan. So dia nak stand alone. Jadi dia nak tunjuk dia terror. So most of the electronics, most of the company, tengok kereta dia pun ada banyak. So Japanese dia ada kereta dia sendiri, ada banyak, ada Mitsubishi lah, apa lagi, ada Nissan lah kan, ada banyak. So Daihatsu, tengok dalam dekat Japan pun you have 8 or 9 automotive company. So dia punya industri besar, so they think that, so they can come up with something that other people must follow. Sebab itu dia keluar dengan DIC standard ni. But globally, what we will use, kita akan use IEC standard. IEC standard, International Electrotechnical Commission. So kita akan gunakan standard. So you pergi ke mana-mana selain Japan, so you boleh gunakan method ni. So nanti after you finish your diploma or degree, you pergi ke industri, you nak jadi engineer. So let's say you are working in a multinational company, or let's say it's a France-based ataupun US-based company. Ramailah yang punya senior ada kat ni. So you go and work there. So let's say you are working in this bahagian lah yang buat pneumatic ataupun production line. Then you can, let's say the company is asking you to come up with a circuit. So you boleh lukis ikut IEC standard. Okay, so answering the question, when you can use IEC standard and when you can use DIC standard, apa jawapan dia? IAC worldwide. Okay, JIC adalah Japan. So it depends on the company yang you kerja nanti. So if you go and work in Japanese company, so jangan gunakan IEC standard lah, sebab dia akan insist you to use JIC standard. So you need to learn JIC standard. So you kena convert lah. Bukannya susah mana pun nak convert. Cuma simbol dia maybe a bit different. So kalau you tengok simbol dekat sini dia macam huruf E, tapi simbol dekat sini dia macam huruf T. So dia ada sedikit lainan lah. Solenoid pun dia lain. Solenoid dekat IEC standard dia macam ada kipas dekat belakang ni, tapi dekat sini dia macam perintang. So a bit different. So you need to learn that lah. Okay. So third question, when serial circuit is used in electro pneumatic. So first, apa itu serial circuit tu apa? So dekat sini apa yang serial, apa yang parallel? So line number berapa? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ada 5 line. Yang series yang mana? The series. So nombor 1 series ke parallel? Series, sebab dia connected next to in one line. So nombor 2 series ke parallel? Parallel, sebab dia ada 2. Yang ni ada line 2 adalah series, kemudian dia ada line 3 yang parallelly connected to line 2 juga. Okay. So line 4 series ke parallel? Series, sebab dia just ada satu line. Nombor 5 series juga. So soalan dia, when serial circuit is used in electro pneumatic. So serial circuit selalunya kita akan gunakan when you want to use one component to control another component. So dekat macam line 1 ni, so you gunakan push button 1. Kalau push button 1 connected, automatically K1 akan connected. So that is the in series lah. So macam dekat sini, so you ada inductive sensor. So kalau inductive sensor ni on, so line ni akan on. But so let's say you have something here disconnected, push button 2 ke, yang disconnected, K1 takkan on. So serial circuit, it must if you want to connect, use one component to control another component. So that's the answer lah. Okay, number 4, based on your understanding, all these elements must present in latching circuit. Latching circuit kita tengok tadi, so you just press push button 1 once, kemudian circuit tu akan on until you press the stop button. Itu adalah latching circuit. Macam ni lah, latching, before latching and after latching. So ini adalah multi selection question. So dia bagi 4 selection. First coil, start button, solenoid dengan stop button. So saya tengok jawapan ramai ada yang salah lah. Ramai yang jawab salah, ada yang jawab betul. Okay, so based on our understanding, all these element must present. So keyword dia must present, maksudnya wajib. In latching circuit, except. So maksudnya kecuali. So apa yang wajib ada kecuali. So meaning apa yang tak wajib. Okay. So ada empat jawapan. First adalah coil. Okay, coil adalah macam K1 lah. K1 ni adalah coil. So K1 ni akan activate this coil. So it will be connected. Coil, start button, solenoid dengan stop button. Okay, yang mana satu yang tak wajib? Solenoid. Siapa cakap coil? Siapa cakap coil? Siapa cakap start button? Siapa cakap solenoid? Ramailah solenoid. Ataupun ikut kawan. Tak ada. Stop button. Siapa cakap stop button? So kalau you tengok, apa yang wajib, betul lah solenoid tak wajib. So kalau ada tu adalah. So but coil makin ada. So itu coil must be there, sebab itu yang akan energize, keep the circuit latching connected always. Sebab kalau on dekat sini, yang ni akan on yang ni. So dia akan on each other lah. Dia akan on each other. So coil memang perlu ada. Kemudian start button untuk start the circuit. Kemudian stop button untuk disconnect the circuit. So 3 tu wajib ada. So dalam connection ni, kalau you tengok solenoid memang tak ada pun. So kalau ada tu boleh lah, no problem. But yang 3 ni wajib ada. Okay, number 5. So how the electro pneumatic circuit can be modified to detect end position of the cylinder? What are the other types of indicators used? So yang ni jawapan dia. Saya boleh gunakan reed switch ataupun LED light. So boleh tengok reed switch ada dekat dalam your piston. Boleh tengok benda yang hitam ni. So dalam ni ada. So when you reed switch, dia detect magnet, dia akan detect magnet. So dia akan on kalau ada magnet yang terdekat. So dalam ini, so you have a magnet. So when it goes near, dia akan on lah. Dia akan ada connection. Dia akan detect that that's the end position. Kemudian one more thing, LED light. So LED light pun dia boleh indicate whether so it already reached the end position. So what are the other types of indicators used? So LED light dengan reed switch lah, for you to detect the end position. Okay, number 6. Based on your understanding, when pressure switch will be required in real life application? Pressure switch, apa itu pressure switch? Firstly kena tanya lah, apa itu pressure switch? Apa yang pressure switch akan buat? Apa yang akan buat? Macam mana operasi dia, pressure switch? Dah mula baca dah. Tahu lah, tengok mata pun dah tahu dah apa yang you all buat. Okay, so pressure switch, tak apalah saya bagi answer. Pressure switch apa yang dia akan buat? Apabila certain pressure is achieved, then the switch akan on lah. Dia akan hantar signal untuk on the switch. Kalau certain pressure, let's say 10 bar ataupun 20 bar is the minimum threshold. Dia akan ada satu threshold value yang you boleh set. So dia macam ada macam knob lah untuk you control. So kalau lagi ketat you tutup the knob, so meaning it will be lesser pressure lah. So meaning 5 bar. So sampai je 5 bar, terus dia akan hantar signal untuk on the circuit. So that is the pressure switch. Okay, so how you can use pressure switch in your real life application? So you boleh baca dekat sini. So you can use in a manufacturing or industrial process. So maksudnya you can use to control. So pressure switch can be used to monitor the pressure of a compressed air supplied in the cylinder and detect when the cylinder has reached the end of its stroke. So meaning, so you have a cylinder. So let's say dia extend. After some time, pressure akan kurang. So dia boleh detect, ataupun pressure tinggi dia akan detect. So it will start the next sequence. So that is how you can use a pressure switch. So pressure switch normally will deal with the maximum ataupun threshold value of pressure. So itu adalah soalan lah. So ada apa-apa soalan yang selain daripada 6 soalan ni berkenaan dengan electro-pneumatic? Okay, so bagi yang mari lambat tadi, so saya dah bagi tahu. So memang dalam exam ada satu soalan, tapi bukan electro-pneumatic. Soalan dia adalah electro-hydraulic. So ada satu soalan lah, sebelum markah. So electro maksudnya dia ada dua part. Satu ada electrical part, satu lagi adalah hydraulic part. So you must know how to design it. 10 markah lah. Okay, so we will try to do some questions. Okay, nanti sebelum during the exam clinic. So most probably your exam for pneumatic will be the first week ataupun last week lah, depends on the jadual. Sebab second week tu saya tak ada. Saya tak ada, saya akan request for first week or third week. So that you boleh buat lah. Okay, so any questions? Selain yang ada dekat sini. So kalau tak ada, so it's already 9 o'clock. So we'll take 5. Then we will continue with part 1 of hydraulic.